Freshwater lakes account for over 8% of Quebec's surface. They play a vital role in maintaining regional biodiversity. But the balance of these ecosystems can be susceptible to introduced species. Nestled in the south end of Gatineau Park is Kingsmere Lake. It is the site of a research project conducted by the Canadian Museum of Nature.
My name is Ben Aubry. I work at the Canadian Museum of Nature as a field technician, and what I do is I catch fish and I inspect the gills for Glaucidia.
Glaucidia are the larval stage of certain freshwater mussels. These filter-feeding creatures help keep freshwater systems clean.
So the mussels have this very interesting life cycle. It's unique to freshwater mussels, and basically they have a parasitic larval stage. These tiny little Glaucidia, the larvae of the mussel, are released into the water column, and what they need to do is use a fish host. So they'll attach onto the gills of the fish and feed on the tissues and the blood for a small period of time, sometimes as short as several days, 3 or 4 days, sometimes 2 weeks or longer. And they rely on the nutrition from that fish to go through a metamorphosis into the juvenile phase. Yeah, so it's kind of a unique adaptation that allows them to disperse through bodies of water. One example would be in a river. If it wasn't hitchhiking on a fish, the only way for it to move would be downstream. But if it attaches to a fish, it has the potential to go upstream as well. So it's a really good dispersal mechanism for an animal that would otherwise be pretty sedentary. Specifically, what we're doing is comparing one of the native species, the pumpkin seed, which is a type of sunfish, as a host for the eastern Elliptio, which is Canada's most common freshwater mussel. We want to see how that traditional native host compares to an introduced species, the largemouth bass, and whether it's going to be able to use the native one as it would a non-native species. Largemouth bass is a very popular sport fish or game fish. People have an absolute blast fishing for them. They're a good fighting fish. You'll see them jumping out of the water as you reel them in. People generally aren't aware of the impacts that they're going to have. They think it's a fun thing. They're introducing a fish and improving the fishery, but not often realizing sort of the broader ecological impact they're going to have. They can be pretty devastating on the fish community and have sort of knock-on effects on other species like the freshwater mussels. The freshwater mussels are often nicknamed nature's water filters. They're able to filter several liters of water in a day, and as a big population like there is in Kingsmere Lake, they're able to filter the whole volume of the lake pretty quickly, and in doing so they really keep the water clean and usable for other organisms and people. They're very small animals, these freshwater mussels, but they have a very large impact on aquatic ecosystems.
By monitoring and studying the impact of introduced species, the Canadian Museum of Nature contributes to the growing body of knowledge of our natural world, providing evidence that will help shape policies to better protect the natural balance of these critical ecosystems. Ben's research project is ongoing, thanks in part to the support of the Kenneth M. Molson Foundation.